Hi, it's Gwyneth on a fabulous Feel Good Friday. I hope you're ready for the weekend. I hope you've had an amazing week. And what do you say to the amazing women's football? It's actually the whole thing that's been going on with women's football and reading so much about everything that they've achieved, particularly the English team, that has really inspired me. This week I've been talking a lot about something called the imposter syndrome. Now, that phrase was first coined back in the late 70s by a couple of clinical psychologists. I've got their names here. Dr. Pauline Clance and Suzanne Imes or Eames. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that. But clearly I wanted to make sure I get my facts right. So that's why I just told you that. And it's basically that little voice in your head that tells you you can't do something, or you don't want to step up and tell people about your achievements because you're worried about being found out that you are a complete fraud, that you're faking it. And what really surprised me when I was doing a bit of research on this during the week was that more than 70% of us have actually experienced this imposter syndrome at one level or another at some point in our lives. Now, clearly, if you just go on listening to all the negative chit-chat in your brain every single day, at some point it is going to affect your mental health. Particularly if you're in business, particularly when it comes to applying for jobs. If you are not comfortable with talking about your achievements, your skills, your strengths because of this imposter syndrome going on in your brain, you're going to have a really, really hard time ever getting to where you want to be. So what can you do about it? Well, I'm sure you've heard me talk about neuroplasticity before, and there is a fabulous book by John Ashraf called Have It All. And he goes in, he studied a lot more than I ever did. He looks at everything from the neuroscience perspective about how neural pathways are created in our brains. Basically, what he talks about and what other theorists talk about is the fact that any beliefs that we have, they're purely thoughts that we've just thought hundreds and hundreds and thousands of times. And if we've thought them that many times, then it's easy, in theory, to think new thoughts. The trick is, first of all, to be aware of what it is you are thinking. So next time you start telling yourself, oh, no, I can't do that, or I'm going to be late for the bus, or any of the negative stuff that you tell yourself every single day, just stop and ask yourself, where's the evidence? Who says so? Because quite frequently, a lot of the negative chit-chat, okay, if you're going to be late for the bus, then there's probably a good reason for you saying that, but a lot of the negative chit-chat is things that you've been telling yourself for years, and you've never ever questioned what you are telling yourself. You've never actually stopped and said, why am I telling myself that? When you're in a meeting and you don't want to speak up because you're afraid of feeling foolish, oh, I'm not clever, the other people in here are a lot more clever than me. How do you know? Where's the evidence? Or, if you've got a really good creative idea, if you're doing brainstorming, if you are working with a new business partner, and I've got this brilliant idea, but they've been in business a lot longer than I have. They know so much more than I do, so I'm not going to say it. How do you know that that's the truth? Frequently, you don't know that that's the truth, and that's what gets you into trouble. So first of all, next time you think something like that, be aware. Now, there are a few things that you can do after that. One is self-forgiveness. Now, this is a bit of a toughie because we're not very good. We're really, really mean to ourselves most of the time. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be compassionate with yourself. The second thing you can do is something we call a pattern interrupter, and that can be as simple as changing your breathing. And one thing that I have learned from listening to a lot of the work that Esther Hicks did was to breathe in for 3, so 1, 2, 3, and breathe out for 5. And then you breathe in all the good stuff and you breathe out all the resistance and all the negativity. And the third thing that you can do is meditation. Even if you're not a meditation fan, I have to say I used to not be because I used to fall asleep very easily. But even if you just set your phone for 10 or 15 minutes and listen to the clock ticking, count in 3, breathe out 5. And I promise you that very shortly after you've done that for a little while, you will begin to feel better. But as I said, the first step is awareness. Now, how do you know if you've got imposter syndrome going on? How do you know if you're going against yourself? Well, you are going to feel it, because anytime you feel bad, anytime you feel negative, anytime you feel sort of uncomfortable, I don't like what's happening, that is a sure sign that you are going against the grain of who you are. And that is the moment when you need to do that pattern interrupter, or just walk away, or say what it is that you need to say. I hope all that makes sense. Couple of other things, really excited. I'm going to be posting the cover for my new book, Stepping Into You, which is the blueprint to nail your personal brand and market yourself magnificently. So let me know what you think about the book cover. The second thing, major excitement on my part, something I've been working on for almost 7 months now, if not longer, is my Stepping Into You, the personal branding bootcamp. Now that's for ladies only, and we are launching live on the 1st of September. I'm going to put the link to the page where you can find all the details about how to sign up, how to join. If you are really serious about wanting to transform the way that you market yourself so that people remember, oh yeah, I remember, oh wow, she was amazing. If that's what you want, bootcamp, the personal branding bootcamp, is for you. So in between times, have a fabulous Feel Good Friday, an amazing weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Lots of love, and bye for now.